All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Bloomington Church of Christ virtual fundraiser in partnership with Hope Worldwide and Night Owl Painting and Watercolor. Today, 100% of the proceeds for this fundraiser have gone toward hunger relief as a result of COVID-19. So that means that you have helped make a difference, and for that we say thank you. The United Nations World Food Program has warned that by the end of this year, more than 260 million people will face starvation. That's double last year's figures. Additionally, 300,000 people are projected to die due to food shortages every single day over a 3-month period. But here in America, we hold the largest percentage of the world's wealth, and that means that we're in a position of strength to give back and to help with this crisis within a crisis. Hearing about these needs, our hearts were moved to do something, and we are so thankful that yours were moved as well, and that you've joined us today. As Nelson Mandela said, it is in your hands to create a better world for all who live in it. If you've not yet donated, you can still do so by giving on Venmo to @Bloomington Church and just make a note saying it's for the Hunger Relief Fundraiser. By now, you should have received your kits and hopefully are ready to begin your guided watercolor painting. We're lucky enough to have local talent, Night Owl Painting and Watercolor, guide us through today's painting piece entitled Rainbow Wish. So a big thank you to Alyssa for donating your time and talent to this event. A couple of housekeeping items before we start. This tutorial is being recorded, so if you feel like you need more time to work on your painting, you can watch this again, or feel free to pause the video if you want to go at a slower pace. Now I'll go ahead and turn it over to Alyssa so we can get started.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to be painting the Rainbow Wish. And I'm going to just go ahead and go over some starter tips. Sorry, I'm still learning the technical stuff. Okay. All right, so we're going to use a couple different techniques today. So I'm going to just start out with some basics. Everyone should have a piece of paper, a paint kit, and a paintbrush from the paint kit. I'm going to recommend you also use 2 cups of water. One we're going to try and keep clean, and the other one you'll use to wash your brush. And then you'll also need at least 1 paper towel. All right. Okay, I have a little scrap paper so that I can show you a couple different techniques. First, I'm going to show you that for the paint, you're going to need kind of a lot of water. So you could just grab a bunch of water and put it into your paint, kind of swirl it around to get it nice and wet. So depending on how hard you push, you could either make really thin lines or you can make really thick lines. And we'll be using both techniques today. And then there is a wet on wet technique where you just put water on and you drop paint in and it'll spread on its own. Or you can just take straight paint and paint with just the paint. A couple things that could happen is if you don't have enough water on the brush or enough water in your paint, it could become jagged like that. So you want to make sure you have enough paint in your water in your paint to make a nice smooth line. Or you could have it watered down too much where when you paint, there's almost no color. So you want to try and get it at a medium where there's enough paint to get enough water to get the paint all wet, but not too watered down like that. The main colors today that we're going to be using are going to be red, yellow, and blue. We will be able to use the other colors if you'd like, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the lid to mix my colors, actually. So we'll do red. And it's kind of hard to see, so I can lift it up for you. So we'll do red, and we could do yellow, and then we can get a nice orange. So I'll be mixing all my colors, but you are welcome to, like when we do green, I'm going to mix my yellow and blue, but you're more than welcome to just use the green. So before we start, we'll go ahead and do a raffle.
Hello, everybody. In your kit, you should have received a red raffle ticket that looks like this. If you're in town, if you're out of town, we are really glad you joined us. But just due to cost, the raffle section only worked for in-town participants. But thank you to everyone who's joined us today. And if you are in town, go ahead and get your raffle ticket number out. We are going to draw for our first prize. Today we have 5 prizes. And the first one is actually my favorite prize. I love these. They're Tervis mugs. It is perfect for these hot summer days for iced tea. I have several and they are really nice. So let's go ahead and draw our first number. Okay, the winner of this raffle ticket or this prize is raffle ticket number 0554027. And the winner of that number, I believe, is Megan and Avery. So congratulations. And all of these prizes will be dropped off for a contact-free delivery in your mailbox by the end of the day. So congratulations.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and start the painting. We are going to start with the base and the little seeds right here. Okay, so in order to make the color for your seeds, we are going to mix together red, yellow, and blue. And I'm going to add more blue. I want mine to be mostly blue, but the other colors will help it not have such a blue tone. I want mine to be kind of purpley, but you can make yours whatever you'd like. It's going to be the stem and the seeds and the base of the flower. All right, so that's about the color that I'm going to use. And what you're going to do is, because the flower is opening up to the left, we're going to put the base of the flower a little bit to the right so that our flower doesn't go off the page. So we're going to just do it. We're going to do it centered, but maybe start the edge at the center and make it go out. So we're going to do just a smiley face, like a little mouth shape like that. And you can have it however thick you want. And after each step, I'll give you guys just a couple minutes to catch up in case I'm going too fast for you. So you can make this however big you want it. I will use the same color to do the little seeds. So you're going to do just straight little lines like that. And we're going to do them all over. So just like a dandelion flower, all the seeds go like all the way around the flower. It doesn't just stick straight out. So you can do them at different heights. It doesn't need to come directly out of this part, because what we're going to do is we're going to fill in the rest of this part later on once this dries. And so it'll be sticking out of all parts of the flower. So you can do them at different heights. You can do them short, you can do them long. You can do however many you want. We will go back later. Some of them might get blended out a little bit when we go back and do the base. So we will go back and do some later. So if you think maybe I will stop, but maybe I'll want to add more later, we can still do that. I'll give you guys just a minute to finish up, and then we'll go in and make some little leaves. All right, so the leaves, and I'm going to show you on some practice paper. What we're going to do for leaves is you're going to start out thin. So you're going to just barely touch your brush. I wonder if you can see that. You're going to barely touch your brush for the beginning part. Oh, sorry. It's a little bit hard to hold the paper and draw. So you're going to just barely touch and then push down and then barely touch again to make the leaves. And it doesn't, this part is not super important. These are the dead leaves on the bottom of dandelions. Like if you ever look at one of those blowy flowers, that's what the kids and me call it. The leaves are hanging off the bottom and you can almost barely see them because the blowing part has grown around it. So this is not a super important part. So if you don't get like the skinny, thick skinny, then it's not that big of a deal. So we'll just go ahead and create some of the leaves hanging off the bottom. And I don't know if you can see here, kind of as I'm running out of paint, sometimes it can get really watery. If it gets too watery, you can always go back and remix the colors and just add some more paint on top. And if it's not the exact same color, it is not that big of a deal. These will be partially covered later by the colorful flyaway seeds. And if you're having trouble getting the small little lines, something that could help is if you dip your brush into the paint and then just kind of swish it back and forth, it'll get off the excess paint off and it'll make it easier for you to draw the lines skinnier because there won't be so much paint on the brush. So I'll go ahead and give you guys just a couple minutes to finish that. Alexa, play meditation music.
Sure. The station Meditation on Amazon Music.
We play this station for my dog when we're not home, and we've left it on at nighttime. And most of the time it's very calm music, but there's one song that is like Irish jig, and it just will randomly play in the middle of the night, and I'll wake up hearing this like jig dance. It's pretty funny. All right, we'll go ahead and do the raffle.
Okay, so for our second raffle, we have this mini lemon scented Yankee candle. And if you have never used a Yankee candle, they smell so strong. You don't barely even have to burn them, but for a couple minutes to freshen up your kitchen or your living room. So this is a real nice one. So get your raffle tickets out. We'll draw here for our second winner. And the second winner number is 0554021. And that number belongs to Molly. Congratulations.
All right. So we're going to go ahead, and our next step is going to be the rainbow blow away part of the flower. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to prep our paint by just putting a decent amount of water in the colors that we're going to use. The reason why is because when we're painting, the way that I'm going to do, and I'll show you two different techniques. Well, I kind of did already. There's a wet on wet technique where you can put just water on your page, and then you can drop the paint in and it'll kind of spread on its own. Or we can do a dry technique where you do just the paint and then you can go back with water and kind of add in some water where you want it to spread. But if you're wanting to do the wet technique, the water will dry, and so you'll want to have your paint ready to be dropped in. So just add a decent amount of water to your colors and kind of mix them so that they're nice and wet, so that once you get the water, I'm mixing my clean water with my dirty water, so that when you get your clean water on, you'll be able to just grab your wet paint right away and drop it in there and let it spread. All right. So the colors that we're going to need are red, yellow, and blue. And then if you want, we have the purple already pre-mixed and the yellow already pre-mixed. The only one you'll need to mix will be orange. And I'm just using the top of my lid for that. So we're going to start with red. So I'm going to do the wet technique where I just drop in some water. And you're just going to do like I think we're doing 6 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we're going to do red again back over here. So we'll do 7 colors. So you're going to do like a 7th is red because we're going to do each color around it. So just do, and we're going to do like little C shapes or dots. You're not going to like color in the whole spot, because just like a dandelion, when you're looking at a dandelion, you can kind of see like darker spots and lighter spots. So you're going to leave some white spots so that it can still blend and have depth to it. You can do it lighter or darker. I like a lot of color in mine, so I'm kind of adding color back in. But if you want it lighter, you can use less color than what I'm doing. And we'll just keep doing the same thing. We'll want to blend just the edges a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and make some orange. You'll just use the red and the yellow and mix a nice orange. And then I'll go ahead and drop some water in. And then drop in my orange. And I'll just kind of overlap a little bit on the edge so that it blends nicely. And we'll just continue with the rainbow. So next will be our yellow. Make sure for this one you're using your clean water. The yellow is the easiest to see any other color. So if it blends, it won't look like a pure yellow. Or maybe you want yours to look not like a pure yellow. That's okay too. All right, next will be green. And I'm gonna mix my yellow and blue, but you can just use the pre-made green if you want. And I'll go ahead and move on to blue. And if I'm moving too fast, I will give a couple minutes after this step for you to just catch up. And if your paint is kind of just sticking in one spot, my blue is just doing that, where it just looks like really thick on one spot. You can leave it like that and it kind of will spread out, or you can just add some more water on top of it and it'll help it spread out. Next will be purple, and I'm gonna mix my own purple. So that'll be red and blue. And then to bring it all the way around, I'll just finish mine off with red. You do not have to do this. I just like the full rainbow to go all the way around. And then because if you look at a dandelion, the seeds do go all the way around it, but I don't want to wash out everything that I've done here. So I'm going to just take a little bit of water and I'm going to water down one of my colors. I'm going to choose purple, but you can do whatever color you want. I'm going to water it down so it's just a light color, And I'm going to kind of just go through and just make some of my little dashes, marks, just so it's some light color that goes around so it doesn't look like it just stops right here. It looks like it goes full circle. If your dandelion looks like it's just a flat circle all the way around, you can leave it like that, or you can go back in and just add like little pops of color, dashes above it. I'm going to go back and add in some color just so I have some brighter spots, not so round. And I'll give you guys a couple minutes just to catch up if you're behind it all. All right, I will go ahead and switch over to Brooke for the raffle.
Okay, so our third raffle prize this morning is this very trendy color, blush pink. It's a journal with lines, if you find that helpful. And on the front, underneath the sticker, it says, "I will walk by faith even when I can't see." So you can use it to do whatever you want, but maybe record your hopes and dreams or the things you're learning. And we will go ahead and raffle that off now. So the winner of this notebook is, okay, raffle number 0554026. And the winner of that number is Jen Burleson. Congratulations.
All right, so next, hopefully our painting is dried enough. If we mostly just want this spot right here underneath where the leaves and the base of the flower are, as long as that's dry, we can go ahead and move forward. Watercolor dries pretty quick, but you can always blow on it if it seems like it's wet. But we're gonna go ahead and do the stem. And the stem is gonna be the same color as the base, but I'm gonna drop in some color just to add some fun appeal to it. So we're gonna go ahead and take that same color that we mixed originally, and we're gonna try and touch just kind of lightly. Draw a stem. It doesn't matter if it's straight or not. I don't know if you've ever seen dandelions, but they're usually falling over. We can just add in, since it's wet, you can just add in some color to it if you want. Kind of mix it in there. So I don't know if you can see that, but I had it blue and then I just added in a little bit of red and yellow. And we're gonna go ahead and fill in the base of the flower. So kind of like the lid of the lip of a cup, we're gonna draw, like finish the circle. And it doesn't matter if it overlaps those little seeds because the seeds are coming out of the base of the flower. So we're gonna go ahead and water down that original color that we mixed. We're gonna add some water to it so that it's lighter to show the different highlights on the flower. Since this is the top of the flower, it would be lighter than the base of the flower. So I went ahead and just watered it down, and I'm gonna finish that little half circle. and I'm going to color it in. And then you can take the original color and just kind of poke little dots into it. Just like if you look at a dandelion after it turns into one of the blowy flowers, you can see the little seeds where it's coming out of it. I'm going to add some blue to darken up some of the seed dots. So I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the little dots, like where the seeds are coming out of. I'll give you guys just a minute to catch up and then we'll do another raffle. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Brooke for a raffle.
Okay, so our fourth raffle today are these Psalms in Color note cards. And I'll go ahead and show you. There are about 50 of these cards and you color them and they all have like a reference to a scripture from the Psalms. So hopefully you have some colored pencils at home and these make for a really nice, relaxing time with God. So we'll go ahead and draw for this prize. Okay, the winner of this prize is raffle number 0554013. And that is Gina and Grace Poyer. So congratulations, that's great. And also thank you to Gina, who is behind the scenes setting up this whole YouTube link for us, making it work. And we'll drop these by to you later today.
All right, so we're going to be on the last part of the flower. So we're going to do all these little flyaway seeds and the little speckles. I don't know if you can see that. It is a lot of fun, but it is also messy. So if you want to make sure that there's nothing around that you get paint on, you can go ahead and clear off. It is watercolor though, so if it gets on something, it should come off pretty easy. So for the speckles, we are going to get the paint really wet. Like you want to have a puddle basically in your paint tray. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to, actually, I'm sorry, I missed a step. You will want to probably cover your flower so that so if I'm flicking blue right now, I'm not going to blend it with my red. So I just have I ripped my paper towel in half and I'm going to just cover up the flower. But you'll go ahead and take the paint, make sure the brush is all wet, and you're just going to flick the paintbrush all over the paper. And you can do whatever colors you want. If you want really thick dots, like I don't know if you can see right now, mine are really thin little tiny blue splatters. If you want really thick, what I do is I get my brush full of paint and dip it just slightly into the paintbrush or into the water, and then I flick it. So I don't know if you can see now, like there's some really big splatters. So you can do that with however many colors you want to do. I started with blue. I'm going to do some red. And I will do some, I'm going to use this purple. I'm going to do some yellow. All right. So now we should have plenty of splatters all over our painting. And what we're going to do with some of these, you could do it with the small or big ones. The big ones are easier because it has more paint to work with. We are going to make them into little like flyaway seeds, just like when you're blowing the flower and they're kind of flying away. And you can do it like this. I'm going to do it like this, where they're just kind of random colors all over the place. But you can do them like if you were to blow it and it was all to blow in one direction, you could just do seeds kind of trailing off in one direction. You could do all one color. You could do a rainbow of colors. So how we're going to do that is, like, I'm going to start with this blue one because it's pretty easy to see. And I'm going to take just like my straight water, and we're going to kind of make, actually, I'll show you on this first. We're going to make like a petal shape. So right now it's a dot. And just like a petal, it's going to have a point. Sorry. And it kind of comes to a round spot. And I kind of push the paint to the bottom because just like on a petal, it's always kind of darker at the base. So you just kind of make it pointy, like a raindrop. And I like to add in color right at the base. So it kind of is darker and it'll spread out since it's a watercolor, but it gives it some depth. So with this blue dot right here, I'm going to kind of create a point. I'm going to pull it up into like a petal shape. I'm going to push the paint down to the base of it so that it can look like it has some depth to it. I'm actually going to add paint because I like a lot of color to the base of it. And that's what we're going to do with however many you want, with whatever colors you want. So I'm going to make a purple. I'll do this purple right here. And I'll do this red. And I don't know if you can see that, but the water, it will just kind of spread the paint on its own. So I just drop in really deep color right at the base, and it's kind of just spreading up, and it gives it like a natural shadow. I don't have very many big splatters, so I'm going to create my own. I want a yellow. I'll create a yellow right here. If the color doesn't seem to be spreading, like this one is already kind of dried, and so it's really dark at the bottom, which I really like. But if you do not like that, you can just add some water to it and it'll help it spread out. I'll give you just a minute to finish those up. Actually, while that's drying, I'm noticing that some of my lines, they bled out. So it doesn't look like there's the seed lines anymore at the base. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back now that this is dry. I'm going to go back and add in some of that color again, make some more lines. And the very last step is you're going to take this same color that we've been using for all the petals and the stem. We are going to make this the little stems to the blowy part of the flower. So you'll take that same color and you'll want to just draw a straight line up into the flower. And it's okay if it touches, like in this one, I just touched it, and because it's wet, it bled a little bit. But I like that because to me, it looks like it's the part that attaches to the little blow away part. But if you don't like that, then just don't touch the petal. You can just draw it as close as you possibly can. And it's up to you. I'm going to go back and I'm going to thicken up just the base of these little stems. So I don't know if you've ever noticed, if you blow those, they tend to be thicker, and then they get really skinny when they get up to the white fluffy part. I'm just going to thicken up some of my stems at the base. And it's up to you. The stems, they can all face down if you'd like. I like to do them all facing like they're coming from the flower. But if you did them all in like a line, like you were blowing them away, then you would just do all the stems facing towards the flower that way. Otherwise, it's mostly abstract. So all the stems could be just face down if you want. Some of my colors I feel like bled out a little bit, so I'm just going to go back in and brighten up some of my colors. right. So that is our rainbow wish painting. Thank you so much for joining me in painting today. I hope you guys have a great day.
Okay, and we have one last raffle prize today. So it's this bag of Godiva chocolates, and I don't know if you can see, but you have 4 different dessert flavors. And the best thing is that you don't have any dishes from sampling those. And then with that also comes this very tropical notebook. So even though you cannot travel right now, you could still imagine that you're someplace different outside of the walls of your own home. So we'll go ahead and draw for that gift. Okay, our last and final prize goes to raffle number 05540007. And the winner of that raffle prize is Shanna. So I'll drop that by later today, all of these gifts. Thank you so much. And Courtney will close us out with one thought.
All right, thank you everyone. That's it for today's fundraiser. Thank you so much to Night Owl Painting and Watercolor for taking us through how to paint our Rainbow Wish card. I know if you're like me, it might not look exactly like how hers does because she is so amazingly talented, but all of our works of art can be original. To be, so let's totally hope that everyone can think of their companies. There's very difference in this world. So again, if you haven't yet and you would still like to donate to Bloomington Church of Christ, you just go to @Bloomington Church on Venmo with the note of hunger relief. And so thank you again for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.